Proclaim to the people the Hajj. They will come to you on foot and on every lean camel. They will come from every distant pass. It says in Surah Al-Hajj, verse 27. Hajj, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, is an act of worship that unites all Muslims all over the world. It is obligatory for Muslims who meet certain conditions to go once in their lifetime. Ihram is a white seamless garment, a cover used by Muslims during the Hajj. Ihram is worn before coming to the Miqat region, that is the area where the Ihram is worn. Men are covered only with Ihram. Only head and feet must be uncovered, while women's plain clothes and scarves are considered Ihram. The pilgrims entering the Ihram should make their intention by performing the 2 rakahs of offering prayer, which is sunnah. During the Hajj, hair and beard are not shaved, and nails are not cut. No hair is plucked from the body. Perfume and fragrances are not used. Except for ihram clothes, no other clothes are worn. A cap, takke, or turban is not used. Gloves and socks are not worn. Shoes that are covered and shoes with heels are not worn. There are no arguments, there are no fighting, and no heartbreaking. There is no hunting, and those who are hunting are not helped. None of the living are harmed. There is no showering or bathing with scented soaps. The pilgrims say the following words after praying 2 rakah and making intention. Labbeyk Allahumma labbeyk, labbeyk la sharika laka labbeyk, innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. Tawaf is the process of turning around the Kaaba by applying certain rules. Turning around the Kaaba 7 times constitutes a circumambulation. After performing the Ihram prayer, the pilgrim candidates who start walking start to make dua when they see the Kaaba by reciting the talbiyah and takbirs. Starting from the Hajar al-Aswad stone, they complete their circumambulation by turning around the Kaaba 7 times, keeping the Kaaba on their left. Pilgrim candidates who complete their circumambulation will complete their circumambulation by performing 2 rakahs of circumambulation prayer. Pilgrim candidates who perform their prayers also drink Zamzam water, which is a part of the sunnah. There are some sunnahs and rules of circumambulation. They can be listed as follows. Tawaf has to be done with ablution and the genitals should be covered. Clothes must be clean. Tawaf should begin from Hajar al-Aswad and be made on foot. A person should rotate 7 times, not stopping in between rotations, and pray 2 rakahs of prayer. After each rotation is completed and before starting the next, Hajar al-Aswad should be greeted. Tawaf should be done as close as possible to the Kaaba. Sa'i, as a word which means to walk and run fast, is called a worship of walking back and forth 7 times between the 2 hills of Safa and Marwa, located on the east side of the Kaaba. Sa'i starts from the hill of Safa and is completed by going to the hill of Marwa 4 times and returning to the hill of Safa 3 times, making 7 departures and arrivals. This worship also has some rules and sunnah. These are as follows. Sa'i has to be done on foot. However, the elderly, people with illnesses or disabilities are able to do it by wheelchairs. Sa'i should not be done without wearing ihram. 7 departure and arrivals in total must be completed. Sa'i has to be done initiated after tawaf prayer. One has to have ablution, and before beginning Sa'i, Hajar al-Aswad has to be greeted. On the Safa and Marwa hills, one needs to make dua towards Kaaba. One has to make intention for Sa'i and recite takbir and dhikr during Sa'i. Arafat is accepted as a place where Adem and Hawa first met after they left paradise. The pilgrims who fulfill the duty of Sa'i move to Arafat on the 8th day of the month Dhul Hijjah. They stay there for a while until noon and spend this time in prayer and takbir. The rules and sunnahs of this worship, called the Arafat Foundation, are as follows. After the sunrise on the day of Arafat, to walk to Arafat. To reach Arafat before noon, which is called Zawal. To take ghusl, take a shower if possible. To not fast. To have a sermon read in Namira Masjid before the noon prayer. To pray the noon and evening prayers conjoined. In order to make the Muzdalifah mission, pilgrim candidates move to the Muzdalifah region before the evening prayer in Arafat. Candidates for pilgrims who come to this region pray the evening prayer and the night prayer together at the time of the evening prayer. This mission ends on the morning of the first day of Eid, when the sun rises. During this time, pilgrim candidates spend their time in takbir and prayers. In addition, the stones necessary for stoning the devil are also collected here. The conditions of the Muzdalifah missions are as follows. Being with ablution and ihram, to complete the mission on time and within the borders of Muzdalifah, to make sure the Arafat mission obligation has been completed. After the Muzdalifah mission is completed, the pilgrims move to the Mina region. Mina is located between Muzdalifah and Mecca. During the Eid days, devil stoning, accommodation and sacrifice are performed here. Big, medium and small devils are dully stoned in the Mina region on feast days. This stoning process is done from small to large. On the first day of Eid, 7 stones are thrown only to the great devil. The time to throw stones continues until the beginning of the next morning. On the second day of the Eid, starting from the little devil, 7 stones are thrown at each devil, 27 stones in total. The same process is repeated on the third and fourth days of Eid. It is not obligatory to throw stones on the fourth day, but anyone can throw as they wish. The rules and sunnahs of stoning the devil are listed as follows. Throwing the stones at close range and one after the other. On the second and third days of Eid, devil stoning has to be done in order, starting with the little devil. Praying after small and medium devils are stoned, and leaving the area quickly without praying after the big devil is stoned. Saying Bismillahi Allahu Akbar every time when throwing stones. Each stone has to be separate, not getting a stone by breaking a stone. Stones should not be dirty. Stones are not collected from the stone throwing area. It is sunnah to perform a sacrifice in the region of Mina after the great devil is stoned. There is no harm in sacrificing on the fourth day of Eid. Those who sacrifice can also eat the sacrificed meat. Those who cannot find the opportunity to sacrifice or do not have money can fast instead of sacrificing. Although the place and time of the sacrifice differs between different schools of thought, sacrifices are made in all schools of thought. In addition, the sacrifice has to be done during Hajj, not after going to or returning from Hajj. The process of exiting the ihram is done by shaving. Men usually shave their hair while women cut a little from the end of their hair. It should be at least the fingertip. While everyone can do the shaving themselves, pilgrims usually shave each other's hair. Since ihram is exited after shaving, all temporary prohibitions that must be followed during ihram are also removed. Although the shaving time varies according to the different schools of thought, it is applied by all schools of thought as a condition for exiting the ihram. The circumambulation performed by going to Mecca after midnight on the first day of Eid is called visiting circumambulation. The necessary rules for performing the visiting circumambulation are: the mission of Arafat has to be completed, and the circumambulation has to be done on a specified time. Although the time of the visiting circumambulation varies according to the different sects, there is an agreement that it should be held within the first 3 days of Eid.